Have you ever watched your team score only to have the goal erased by a line drawn across a screen? Not by a whistle, not by a referee, but by a machine. They called it progress. Some called it justice, others called it the death of football. Because now, a toe can cost you a title, an armpit can kill a dream, a fingertip can be a handball, enough to shatter an entire nation's hope. But here's the twist. For the first time in history, the rich clubs, the ones used to getting the calls, they're no longer protected. VAR didn't just change football, it changed who holds the power. For over a century, football was ruled by humans, the eyes of a referee, the flag of a linesman, the roar of a crowd. Mistakes happened, injustice happened, but we called it part of the game. It gave us legends, it gave us villains, and it gave the powerful protection. Because if we're being honest, some clubs got the calls, some players got the sympathy, and some teams, well, they were just easier to ignore, until something new arrived. Not a player, not a manager, but a screen. VAR, video assistant referee. It came with promises. Fewer mistakes, more fairness, the end of controversy. But football isn't just about truth, it's about emotion. And when that emotion meets cold precision, you get something strange, something tense, something fans still don't know how to feel. Because with VAR, a goal isn't a goal, not yet. Not until it's reviewed, confirmed, sanctioned by a machine. And now, the big clubs are angry. The fans are divided. And football itself, it's asking a question it never wanted to ask. Did we fix the game, or did we kill the soul that made it beautiful? Before VAR, football lived in a different world. A world of guesses, of instinct, of gut calls and blind spots. And if you were a small club or a smaller country, you knew your margin of error was zero. Let's rewind. 1986, Mexico City, quarterfinals, Argentina versus England. A bouncing ball, a leaping man, and then a punch. Maradona's hand of God. It was obvious. Millions saw it. Except the one man who mattered, the referee. Argentina won the match, and Maradona became immortal. And England, they screamed into the void. No replay, no correction, just myth. Fast forward to 2002, Dijon, South Korea versus Italy. Totti dives, red card. Tomasi scores, offside. Korea wins and Italy cries foul. Later, against Spain, 2 disallowed goals. Spain goes home. Korea reaches the semis. Were they good? Yes. Were the refs good? No. Was anything done about it? Never. Now go to 2009. Stamford Bridge, Champions League semi-final. Chelsea versus Barcelona. Drogba, Ballack, Terry, all denied penalties. Clear fouls. No calls. It's a disgrace. A f***ing disgrace, Didier Drogba said. Barcelona went through and Chelsea were robbed. And people started to whisper what fans had known for years. Big clubs, big countries, big money. They get protected. And VAR? It promised to destroy that shield. In 2018, football changed forever. FIFA brought VAR to the biggest stage of all, the World Cup in Russia. The world watched, skeptical, curious, angry, and then surprised. VAR awarded 29 penalties in the tournament, a record. Some were controversial, but many were correct. Real fouls, real offsides, real consequences. France got one in the final, a handball by Perisic. Croatia screamed, but the law was clear. And when France lifted the trophy, VAR had its first taste of glory. Sepp Blatter once said, "Football is a game of mistakes." VAR said, "Not anymore." Then came the Premier League, August 2019. VAR rolled in. Big promises. Big mistakes. Fans hated it. Players were confused. Managers raged. Why? Because English football had something else. Speed, chaos, emotion. And VAR slowed it all down. Imagine this. You score a last-minute winner at Anfield. You scream. You run. You jump into the crowd. And then a screen lights up. VAR check in progress. Everyone freezes. Then disallowed. Offside. By a shoulder. And the joy dies. It wasn't wrong, but it felt cold. It's not football anymore, Roy Keane said. But here's the thing. The numbers told a different story. Before VAR, the Big Six dominated decisions. After VAR, the calls balanced out. Suddenly, Wolves got the penalty. Brighton's goal stood. And Manchester United? They weren't immune anymore. The rich were bleeding, and they didn't like it. VAR exposed something deeper, that for decades, officiating bias was real. Not always malicious, but very real. Manchester United under Fergie, more stoppage time. More penalties, fewer reds. Juventus in Serie A, you could practically book the penalty in advance. Real Madrid in the Champions League, some say the white kit glowed a little brighter for the officials. VAR erased that aura. In Italy, Juventus's numbers dropped. Napoli and Atalanta rose. In Spain, Barcelona and Madrid started losing the marginal calls. Yellow cards, offsides, penalties, all under the microscope. In Germany, VAR took down giants. Bayern lost a cup semi-final to Frankfurt after a VAR-confirmed penalty. And in France, PSG couldn't buy the calls anymore. The old power structures were cracking. Then came the World Cup, again. Qatar, 2022. The most advanced VAR system ever. Semi-automated offside. Tracking sensors inside the ball. AI-drawn lines. It looked like the future, and it delivered chaos. Japan versus Spain. The ball barely stayed in. VAR said goal. Spain lost, and Germany knocked out from the group stages for second time in their history. Portugal versus Uruguay. Cristiano thought he scored, and VAR said, no touch. And the goal goes to Bruno Fernandes. Cristiano sulked. VAR didn't care. In Argentina versus Netherlands, 17 yellow cards. Fights, fouls, mind games. VAR caught it all, but emotions exploded anyway. That game was madness. Messy. But here's the twist. The more VAR came in, the less diving we saw, the fewer ghost penalties, the cleaner the game. Not perfect, but fairer. And yet, fans weren't satisfied, because fairness doesn't always feel good. Here's what people miss. Football is a drug. It gives you release, joy, rage, unity, and VAR interrupts the high. You score, but you wait. You win, but maybe you didn't. It's logic replacing instinct. Precision replacing passion. That's why fans are angry. Not because it's wrong, but because it feels wrong. Because when you strip away the madness, you strip away the myth. But myths are how football lives in memory. So, did VAR ruin football? No, it exposed football, held up a mirror, showed us our biases, our hypocrisy, our need for drama over truth. VAR didn't destroy the game. It just made it honest. And honesty is uncomfortable, especially for the powerful. Because now, the clubs who screamed for justice are the ones begging to turn back time. But there's no turning back. VAR is here, and it's changing football. Not always perfectly, not always smoothly, but maybe, just maybe, it's saving the game from itself. You can love the chaos, you can love the drama, but don't pretend the old game was fair. Because for a long time, football wasn't about who played better. It was about who the referee liked more. Now, VAR doesn't care who you are. And maybe that's what scares them the most. That's the beauty. The heartbreak, the game. Ready for more? Click on the video here and see you there.